We're gonna do the definitive Tony Hawk Pro Skater tier list. Got myself Will, Killian,
Killing Will and Kill.
and we about to kill this shit. As you can see, we got this shit broken down by our tiers, S through D, and then we gonna get this shit out the way. All the Tony Hawk ride, the motion control character, these trash ass mobile games, it's not even in discussion. Go watch someone else's video for that shit. Like, we not even. And we also go add Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. This was like some fake ass remake they did. It was
HD, yeah.
It was trash, and then 5 was like Activision published it. I don't even know who did the development on it though.
Was that the one that had the crazy patch that was needed right when it was released?
Yeah.
And you couldn't play it without a downloaded patch.
Yeah. So you know, since this is a newer game, I'll put it in the trash. I'll put it.
No, if it warrants.
I'll put it in trash.
Just being newer, does that warrant not?
But they at least tried to make a pro skater game. Like these ones was hella not pro skater games.
All I can say about the HD is I tried to play that. I was on this skate trip to California. I couldn't even really fucking comprehend that a remake of the original had come out, but it looked like dog shit. And I never went back to revisit it. But as a fucking Tony Hawk and Birdhouse purist, it's hard to even look at some of these titles, man, because you know he had to say yes to what they picked. What is this, Skate Jam? Come on, dude. Yeah, so right, exactly what Will said. We're gonna fucking dump all those in the bin.
And then first and foremost, the origin, Tony Hawk 1. I feel like that's S tier. Like that's the.
So that GOAT tier, okay.
S or A, and the reason I say, you could give it the argument for A, because S tier is very special, but I feel like with a lot of games, it's like there's the first game that comes out, and it's like, oh, this is pretty good, and then it's like the sequel with the bigger budget, that's where it breaks through the mainstream and it blows up, and then it's like, oh, okay, now this is like a legit series. With the first Tony Hawk game, I feel like this shit came out the gate swinging. Like it took the video game world by storm, and skateboarders was messing with it. So I feel like that's why I would probably put it in S tier, like, because it wasn't like, oh, this is a interesting little series with some promise, and then they refined it and got better. It was like, boom.
If you think,
we gotta give it S.
Hypothetically, if that was the only one that came out and you went and played it today, it would still be okay. Each pro had 9 or 12 decks that are total snapshots in that 99
time capsule. The gameplay was innovative, and then it struck the cultural chord with the, it was like authentic skateboarding culture. So
that shit kind of shocked me the more I learned how much he had to do with the early development, and throughout like the rest of the mainline series he had a huge say in what was happening. But I would. That's kind of a hard one. It's a trivial.
It's like S or A
or S.
Maybe at the end, after we put everything, we'll do one last.
Hold on a second. Let's get that one in the mix. The Pizza Hut demo disc.
That was what got me into skateboarding.
Hell yeah, dude.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater one. So for me personally, it's always gonna be S tier. But I could see, if you being super critical, you go, it's A tier, because as we'll see, there's other stuff.
Yeah, they had.
And S tier is very special. Like that.
They for sure had limitations that they couldn't get to everything that they wanted. But that leads us into Tony Hawk 2, which I have to put that one. How many goated tier entries are we gonna have? Because I think there's several that are way up there for me. But
we'll get 2.
I would have to say,
like, both of these. Both of these. It's like you could put these in either of these 2 brackets, any combination. I wouldn't be mad at it really, because 2 just follow the formula of like a lot of games at that time.
It has the budget. had the
Yeah,
resources to get more music, which I mean, dude, that was still on the same system.
yeah. I could put those both in S. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, but then we move on to three. It's shit, man. That's a really good. That one, I sold everything I had to get a PS2 because of how the graphics looked on that.
I remember playing this shit at a friend's house a bunch, and then I eventually got it on my own console. But I'd say this eight. Not that it wasn't an amazing game. It's just like these were just like cultural phenomenon type shit, and this was like,
I'm mad at
and
that.
three was like, okay, it's still going hard in the paint. Like it's not like it's a bad game or oh, it's a downgrade. It definitely added more gameplay. It's just it's more of a known commodity.
They added the revert to that one.
I think the Creator Park had the rail. Or did it add the Creator Rail? Was that the first game to have that? Or
no, that was Underground.
yeah. I feel like there was something in the Creator Park that was different in this, but maybe it was just. I mean, it just was better because it just had more stuff. But yeah, three was just again a continuation. The thing is, it's like the first one was totally unexpected, then the sequel's bigger and better, and it's like you can't like bigger and better the sequel. I mean, you can, but it's like it's not gonna be like as surprising. So it's A tier.
But yeah, gameplay wise, it was the revert that they added,
which was big.
I mean, that's big for bigger combo goals and high score challenges.
It continued to add to. It's like A tier is good. Then we got Two Times. I did get to play this at a friend's house. And from what I remember, it was basically the all the levels from Tony. It was a weird like in between game because I think it had the revert from Tony Hawk 3, but it only had the levels from 1 and 2.
Did it have the
or it had some stuff that was like from the newer engine, gameplay wise, or like maybe I don't know, my memory's fuzzy. But I know for a fact like the maps was 1 and 2, and then there was like 5 original maps.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But I remember like seeing like old reviews on it, and it was like because I think Tony Hawk 3 was actually out at the time that 2X came out. Because this was for Xbox specifically. So I think Tony Hawk 3 wasn't out on Xbox yet. But it was out, but they did the 2X or 2 times.
Damn it, it's hard for me to say because I always wanted to play that one. I saw the graphics and they were just obviously souped up ass levels that they looked so much better in this edition, but then I've seen things about it that I can't really I can't they're critical of the game and I can't speak on it because I haven't played it. So
but yeah, but I feel like B's fair because like I mean if it was like super amazing, it would have the reputation of that. But it was not a bad entry if you had an Xbox. I mean, just the combination of having like all the levels of 1 and 2 on the same disc,
that's pretty,
especially at that time where so that I feel like B's solid
for sure.
Next, now this title is very near and dear to my heart. I'm not mad if someone put this in A, but personally this is probably my second favorite Tony Hawk game, so I would put it in S. But I fucking love this game because it had it was the first one where the mission structure was you're in the level and then you would explore it, semi-open world where you explore it and then talk to people and then do the missions, which was the first time they kind of did that with the gameplay, because all the other ones it was like if you did the career mode, it's you do the 2-minute run and you do the objectives and you just go through that checklist. But this one was like you explore the map and talk to people, like it was a semi-open world structure.
Find little hidden remember in the zoo were you like dodging shit?
Yeah, from the monkeys.
Yeah.
I fucking, man, a lot of those levels I really liked. The bonus levels were dope. I'm pretty sure it had like the Chicago level as a bonus level.
Yeah, from Matt Hoffman.
It had the pro challenges, so it had end game content, like gameplay wise. Like I love that game, dude. Like that's a personal S tier for me.
Well, shit, we used clips of it in the friend section video.
Hell yeah.
Just the little intro for your part was fun fun fact about that one, we should just do a whole fucking video about random tidbits because Atiba Jefferson was featured in the game. He's the first person you talk to, and apparently the voice sounds nothing like him. And I found out that Atiba went in and recorded all the monologue, and they went with somebody else.
Yeah, his shit must have been bad.
Yeah, it's probably fucking bad, but I think
look up NBA players doing the voiceovers on for NBA 2K. That's why they don't have these. That's why I don't have these people do the RPG voice acting shit. So his shit must have been bad because I mean, Atiba doesn't seem like the super charismatic guy that's gonna jump on the. Not that he's not charismatic, but to like get on a microphone and give an amazing vocal performance for. That wouldn't surprise me.
That's too funny, man.
Like he's not gonna go, oh damn, Atiba shut it down in the vocal booth. Like,
Jay with the damage up.
Hey, if you want to open up some new places to stay, try and talk yourself to guys.
And it goes like this. For all your new jacks that never heard me spit, bring beats, rhymes, and freaks and watch me split shit. Bang like Bloods and Crips, too legitimate to quit. MCs talk big, but Sonic with
no one would.
That's the fucking clip we used for the video.
No one would expect that. But yeah, it's 4 amazing game. But A tier is fair. Like that's just for me personally. I play.
It's interesting because that's a point that I've heard people faulted for is they took away the timed format, but you still end up okay when you talk to somebody and they say, hey, why don't you try and get this score?
You still gotta do it. Yeah.
So
And the pro challenges were legit like difficult. Like that was like a true like end game content. Like you beat all the missions and then you could do you get the pro challenge.
Right. And it would be bam in the shopping cart.
Yeah, like that was a nice like it is the same formula as 3 where it's like just continue to add to what was already a really good formula, but don't just like add shit for no reason, like add stuff that's actually good. So yeah, both 3 and 4, it's like they share that same kind of.
I mean, the graphics were sick too, and they added a little bit more. What would you say? Like
the maps were all just bigger because they had to be open world.
Customization was big because you could take Bucky and
Oh yeah.
I want to put him in a shirt, but put him in a genetic footwear shirt and then a backpack. It's like, wow, that's pretty fucking sick that they let you pick from their sponsors. And I remember in 3 they would let you a little bit, but it wasn't as expansive, so pretty dope stuff there. I would say great.
Yeah, great game. Now, oh man.
Oh shit!
No, don't even no explanation. Honestly, like this is another game. Like massively changed my life in a pivotal moment growing up. But I just think even just as a video game, period, this is a masterpiece video game. Masterpiece video game. You get, the soundtrack is amazing. You get the player expression because you can play as a male or female. You can customize your character, customize your board.
Yeah.
So it has every element of a good game. You have I actually have a story that was actually like interesting and well written for like it's a skateboarding game. And again, it stayed true to the culture. So it's like amazing story. It had an advanced gameplay. It had the player expression with the customization across, making parts, doing the graphics,
had the rail tool,
making your character. Story.
You can make. Did you ever make a rainbow rail in the creative part?
Oh yeah.
This is the one that gave you the tool to random stuff. I remember there were certain ledges that you would make. It would have an ungrindable surface.
And then you put the little rail on it.
On there, and now you can skate it. So
yeah, so that's a masterpiece game. Probably the best Tony Hawk game. I feel.
The fact that
I don't think many would contend with
they
that.
pulled real life skateboard events and locations, and there's always been, dating back to the first Pro Skater, there's Hubba Hideout and things like that. But this one would tie in the skate park of Tampa, for instance, is like kind of the midway point of the game, and they had the exact ramp set up. And I fucking found out when I was in Tampa for Tampa Pro that when you're playing through the game and you do the contest at skate park of Tampa,
Yeah.
the people that are on the screen that you're skating against are actual people that either skated for the skate park of Tampa or worked there.
Oh, that's dope.
They had so much input that they're like, yeah, give us a list of like 20 people that
Hell
we can
yeah.
randomly throw in there, and very cool shit like that. That I mean, okay, this is the 5th title in the series, and they're still staying true to skateboarding, and
definitely the peak of the whole series. That shit. Like I said, in my opinion, as someone who's played a ton of different games across a lot of different genres, that's like honestly probably one of my personal top 5 games. But I just think it's a masterpiece game. Like
you said peak, because in my opinion, this is where we're over the realness.
Past his prime, so we got Underground 2. Now this will be an interesting discussion because
look at that fucking cover art, man.
I honestly, I'm not too mad at this game. I know you don't like this game, but I feel like it's at least B tier.
Underground 2 had a port for the PSP that I fucking loved. It was so
I thought that was super dope.
And it had exclusive titles like Atlanta, and that level was so fucking
yes.
That level was so good, dude. There was little double sets in the plazas. Yeah.
I actually remember liking a lot of the levels in this game. Like I remember liking
it had a beach, Santa Monica, I think.
Yeah, and there was a Spain one. Was it Barcelona?
Yes, you're right.
And then there was I remember the Boston level. I actually and Boston would be a city I don't even care about, but as a level, I just remember actually playing it a lot. And it had the triangle map, the secret level.
Oh, right.
That was pretty dope. That was like the most like outside of skate heaven. Like what better could you get? The fucking Bermuda Triangle. Because I think it had because there was like the island, but then there was like portals and shit. Like, because I think you could go into like a hell type map, and then there was like some other. There was
is that the map that you could do that?
Yeah, the triangle. But it was the Bermuda Triangle, and it was like an island, but there was other like places on the map.
You would go, and it would have the devil dancing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you could go to hell, and then there was like I think another place off other than the island. Like I think it was like some Egyptian temple type shit.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep. Damn, good memory there.
Yeah. So I just remember liking a lot of the levels in that game. The story definitely was a downgrade. Like it definitely wasn't,
dude.
Yeah, like it was definitely a downgrade from Underground for sure.
That's the focal point. Is the story? They totally latched onto the Viva La Bam era of destruction and chaos. Look at that fucking cover art. You got Bam doing his normal at that time. I mean, I guess he still does that now, but. Yeah, and here's Tony. Yep, I'm here. It's funny. I just saw an ad for it. I was watching an old X-Play episode, and there was an ad for Underground 2, and it was just the most cornball shit ever. And Tony shows up at the very end of the ad and pops Bam's tire. Because it's the destruction tour. It's just all right. What the fuck ever. But you made some really good points with some of the levels were actually quite great. But I found that all the extra shit that they added in this one, like throwing tomatoes at a cow or whatever.
Yeah, gimmicky gameplay stuff. The destruction tour shit. I feel like it's B though.
I would say it's alright. That would be my input.
B to C. That's
because I don't even know if they had a level editor in that.
It did. I think it was. They did remove the board graphic editor. I'm barely sure.
Coming from such a realistic experience with an Underground, you're dealing with the industry and skating for a team, and getting kicked out, or fucking just different drama within the industry. I thought that was really good, but that to me is why I would put that one in the C tier. But
it's fair. That's fair. Because I mean, really, as I think back on that game, yeah, I think the levels probably was the strength. But yeah, it was a downgrade in a lot of other aspects.
Every level has a requirement of using the secret guest, which they'll have Steve-O on a mechanical bull, and you have to head around on this stupid
gimmicky shit. Yeah. Okay, I could live with C.
No, I got 5 more points that'll make it D tier.
Oh man, but particularly the PSP port, I would put that almost as an A tier game.
Yeah,
Like on its own, like if this was like just a portable game rank, like a totally different tier list, that as a portable game is actually really fucking good.
you're right. Yeah, because I recall getting that with my PSP for Christmas, and I was just over the fucking moon for this experience that
You could play portable like
right in front of your face, just playing the shit out of. I believe you could unlock the warehouse from the first game.
Yeah, they
and
put
it
little
looked
extras
like so good.
that really was like kind of the definitive version of that game because
Agreed.
it had all the extra shit. So yeah, if it was the portable version, it's definitely a or B, arguably A tier if we're talking just portable games for sure because that was a really good package. American Wasteland. So what was interesting about this was the first Tony Hawk game to come out for the Xbox 360 generation, but it was a cross-gen game, which that's definitely more of a thing now in gaming with between the last two eras. But this was a cross-gen game, but even the next-gen version of the game, like it really wasn't all that special or even all that different other than it loaded faster. I'm putting this in C tier just off my knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, the storyline on that one
Was it? I did like how you kind of had like the crazy part that was like it would grow as you progress through the game, even though it was all just a preset thing anyway. But
right.
that was just kind of a cool visual thing, and like it was a gameplay thing too. That like the park actually changed over time. So that was like interesting. Maybe it wasn't executed super perfect, but I feel like that was like that was like probably one of the things I remember the most about that game. That was interesting, and by the end, the park was like super crazy. You could do all these crazy lines through it. So I wasn't mad at that. But yeah, otherwise, I wasn't super into the whole punk rock aesthetic.
Because the art direction
It went cartoony,
and it was under Jimbo Phillips, if I'm not mistaken, the Santa Cruz main, like the Screaming Hand guy.
Yeah.
So they added some shit like bank drop where you'd be floating above something and you could press I think R2 and walk into it. But
that's just an extra little nice to have, but nothing revolutionary.
Bertleman slides, man. Come on.
Yeah, that was then it was like, oh, no loading screens, just this long ass corridor between the two maps.
I remember
that obviously isn't a loading screen.
Right.
Because I remember it'd be like the first map, and then like it was like this like strip mall hallway, and like all it was just like
a couple ledges and a rail.
Yeah, like all you could do is straight long grind, so you can kind of play games, but like yeah, it's obviously a loading screen. So yeah, it's yeah, I think that's all that needs to be said.
I think with that one too, I just had a flashback of the three flips not properly spinning the board. I think you'd do a three flip because it would be. Remember how they added in the double press the square?
Yeah.
So I think they fucked that up, and it no longer put in a full 360. You would now be riding your board backwards if you did a laser or a three flip.
Oh my god.
That's itty bitty. I know that's very very minute. In the
kind of, but at the same time, like this was the first next gen Tony Hawk game, and like you got stances, like that's quality control shit that like that could have been better. But likely, I bet you what it was. This was just because at this point, Activision as a publisher, like, and they've done this as you can see with Guitar Hero, Call of Duty, etc. If something like once they find their thing that pops. Motherfucker, y'all is pumping them shits out every single year.
There were handheld ports. I don't think anything for PS.
No, I actually played the I believe it was a DS. It was a DS port for.
Oh, and it was American Skateland.
American Skateland, and the graphics were like cell shaded. So it was cartoon because of that. Of course, that processor could only handle so much. But I actually, as far as Nintendo handheld Tony Hawk games go, at least it was a 3D, and like it was the kind of gameplay that not just like something totally different like all the other garbage ass Game Boy games, but yeah, this fucking style of games that we're talking about on this shit. But yeah, so we got Project 8.
Okay.
Now this game, and okay, now I remember what I was gonna say. So again, Activision, they at this point they oh, Tony Hawk's a seller, so you're putting out a Tony Hawk game all the time. So I'm sure like quality, again, talking the quality control and shit, I'm sure they just were spread for time, and and they were developing the real next gen Tony Hawk game, Project 8, which if you played it on the 360 and not like the Xbox and PS2, if you played on the Xbox and PS2, is basically the exact same engine as American Wasteland, but just with the actual levels, and they did do the nail the trick shit too, but all the animations and graphics was exactly like American Wasteland, which was I was salty because which looking back it's like no shit, but I remember being hella salty because I wanted a Xbox 360. I couldn't get it at the time. Little kid shit. I was like, that was like a Christmas present or some shit later. But I was really hyped on that game, and I was super hyped on the whole next gen graphics, and they did the advanced motion capture and everything. So I was super excited to get that, but I didn't have the next gen console. But I was still able to get I'm younger. I'm not realizing cross gen shit. So I got Project 8 on like PS2, I believe, or the regular Xbox, and yeah, it was in the old engine. And I was like, this is cool, but dang, I'm salty. It wasn't the shit I've been hyping up watching on IGN.
They really sold the
time.
hell out of the motion capture, and the whole thing with that is they had been doing motion capture for many years since that. I remember seeing footage of Tony Hawk with the balls on him in Skate Street, which was indoor park, and it was a giant half pipe that they actually made that level in Pro Skater 2. So the hyped up, oh, every skater has motion capture. I don't know. I remember Dustin Dolan definitely looking.
Yeah, I think the different, because like in the old games, it was like everyone had like the same animations more or less, outside of maybe a couple of variations. But in this one, it was like the pros like did most of their own. Like Stevie Williams had his kickflip and his heel flip, because with the 360, the graphics, like they could actually do the whole let's zoom in on their face and they're all 3D and high resolution. But on the 360 though, because I did eventually get a 360 and play this in its full form. I want to put it in B tier on the 360. I wasn't mad at this game. It had big levels.
They made it seem like in those trailers that you were gonna actually be skating as. They didn't really lead on that. Oh, it's all about your skater and his journey to be in Tony Hawk's elite group of 8 skateboarders.
Yeah,
which I've heard people say that the reason it's called Project 8 and the reason they did this direction,
because it's like it's like this whole world contest, and like everyone's trying to do trick challenges to get in the top 8 so they could join Tony's Project 8.
But MySpace was super popular at this time, and
a lot of people tied into that. Yeah.
Shit, but I don't really know if it's that direct of a.
It could be. I mean, that's not too. I mean,
it is around that.
But connections like that, like if it's usually things aren't a coincidence.
It's interesting.
You got whole teams coming up with
this.
They just have
an entire roster of people that, if you remember, I remember seeing Brian Brown, who was super sick, and I think he went pro for Zoo York, but he was not in the game, but his name would pop up, and it would, I think on the little roster, it would have their sponsors, and it would be like, oh, audio footwear.
Yeah.
Cool. That's kind of cool, but overall, yeah.
Did you play it on the 360?
I did. I owned it on the 360.
Yeah. Like, it's good. It wasn't a game I had anything I was particularly mad at. But it wasn't like over the top amazing, but I enjoyed my time with it, and it was like, it made me hype that I had the 360 and I could see everything and the cool graphics, and I'll leave it be. We'll do one more like little scan over. All right, now Proving Ground.
I know nothing about this one. This is one that I haven't even touched.
This was the beginning of the end. This shit was trash.
Oh, really?
This was the first game that came out after EA Skate had come through and crushed the buildings. And this is where not only had the series kind of just like, okay, we're running out of steam, Activision, we're pumping out games like crazy, like what the fuck. They're probably burnt out, uninspired, and you're just cranking out titles year after year. And on top of that, they have this identity crisis now because Skate, with the simulation gameplay and the hard controls, now they're trying to chase it with their like nail the trick. Like they did extra shit with the nail the trick to kind of compete with that, but it was like it just kind of made the regular. It was like if Tony Hawk had lost his identity. It was the whole. It just seemed like, yeah, they're burnt out. It doesn't know what it's doing. The gameplay just wasn't that fun to me. The levels, they're just like, whatever. I remember playing that game and just being like, and what was crazy because like the graphics were like good and shit. This was like 360 era stuff. But it was just like I just remember playing it and like even before finally beating it, just like halfway through career mode, I'm just like, I'm gonna beat this and finish it. But yeah, this series is fucking cooked. Like
They added your aggro kick. That was your big.
oh my god, like
because I have researched this one and I've seen people say
you can just tell as a gamer, I can just tell like playing different games and like these are long-term projects that are like built with huge teams and tons of people, and it's like if you just have too much, either people aren't buying into the vision or the vision itself isn't good. Like you can just tell, like, yeah, you can put all the money and resources into a project and have all these features and it's still just not a fun game. And that's exactly what Proving Ground I feel like felt. Like even as someone who loved the game and was like, I'm really into Skate now, but I want to see Tony Hawk punch back, see what they got, and have some competition or some shit. And I was just like, yo, this shit, hey yo, these motherfuckers, they done for, bro. Like it's like seeing the heavyweight champ and this motherfucker go out there just getting rocked by the young guys. It's like, hey yo,
think about the weight that if you're a pro,
Done.
if you're a pro appearing in a Tony Hawk video game, that from 99 through 2004 probably was an incredible accolade, and only absolute GOAT tier skateboarders are offered that opportunity.
getting life-changing money.
Yeah, but at this point in Proving Ground, I know it just wouldn't. It doesn't really hold the same value.
Other than the check, like, oh, I guess that's cool. I'm in the
Which at this point they were probably not making.
nearly, yeah. You're not getting the same money as they was. Yeah,
You're not getting the found.
they figured out like they could just, because before it was like these dudes was getting like royalties and shit like that. Then they're like, oh, the publisher smartened up, like we just pay these dudes 15 grand now, another 15 grand on release, and their fucking dumbasses will take it. Like,
Yeah, I remember hearing the Bucky interview where he was saying that after Underground, he started laughing at the money and he stopped working with them because they wanted to nickel and dime it. And yeah, I guess that type of money stream hadn't been flowing.
ran its course. And last but not least, we got the remake Tony Hawk 1+2.
Not mad at this one.
I feel like it's a solid B tier game. I played this on Series X and I liked it. Like the game, it was. I feel like this was a good remake. Didn't reinvent the wheel, but yeah, it was seeing your favorite old levels with the new graphics and the actually
There's some fuck ups in there though, man. They fuck some things up for sure. Just with not having the ability to play through the career mode as each different skater. It's all connected. If I'm not mistaken, it's like
it's only tied to your creative players, not the other skaters.
no, it's you beat it. Say like me, I'll beat it with Bucky, and then there's no way to start a new.
Oh, it's all tied to your one account.
Yeah, so
I mean, but it does track like if you played with other characters, they have all the stats where it's like, oh, you beat it with.
to me though, the entire fun element, I still go back to this day and play Pro Skater 2, the first level, and try and do the perfect run of clearing everything with the
Oh
cash
yeah.
icons. And it's not that simple with this new one. It's like I don't know, it's just a different format of this type of gameplay, which I don't think works very well. And then another pet peeve is that with the first and second game, there are school levels respectively. And one of the challenges, I know there's a couple challenges that did this, but the one that really pisses me off is the bells. Because school 1 had,
Yeah.
or school 2 had the bells to wall ride, school 1 did not. And it just, I don't know, those types of fluency errors, I don't know, man. It's of course, people like you and I are fucking purists with those two games, Tony Hawk 1 and 2, and it almost feels like, okay, I understand why they would mesh the two and release it as a one package, but at least if it's gonna be like that, have them be totally respective.
Oh, have them isolated with different progression things.
And so even it does have, oh, okay, career mode for Pro Skater 1 and career mode for Pro Skater 2, but again, there's just those fluency errors that fuck it up for me. So yeah, I'd say good. I would almost say it's alright, but
I wasn't mad at those things, but I'm more used to those live service games and just modern stuff. So that stuff, like it didn't phase me at all. I'm just kind of used to it. And it's like, yeah, modern day Tony Hawk game, sure, they'll do it like that. So if we could probably order these too. So trash, I'll at least give Proving Ground the nod over 5. Wasteland or Underground 2, I'll probably give Underground 2 over Wasteland.
yeah, for sure.
Of these 3, how would we rank the? I mean, I only played this briefly, so I don't know.
It's lame because I can't have much of an opinion on 2X, but I would definitely Project 8.
I don't know which, Project 8 or Tony Hawk 1+2. These are the hard hitting questions that
Right.
leave you up at night. Which one's better?
Project 8 had no park editor, if I'm not mistaken.
Did it not?
And I'm wondering if one and 2 had a park editor.
I think. I can't recall either of them shit. But either way, I feel like you could just the vibe of which one was more fun. I mean, I definitely played Project 8 way more, but I was, younger, different time.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
This was like, I'm an adult, like, okay, let me check out the Tony Hawk game.
Nostalgia hit.
I beat this and I played it for like 3 or 4 days max, and I haven't picked it up since.
Right.
This was like I was playing this shit for a whole summer.
Yeah, that's true. I would.
But that's like, I don't know if that's respective of the game's quality. It's just different periods in life. It's a wash. I don't know. Flip a coin, however you feel. Either way. 3 and 4, I would put 4 over 3.
Yeah, because of the open world.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
This
is the tough one.
Actually, I don't think it's tough at all. I would put Underground as GOAT, and then I wouldn't be mad at 2 and then 1.
Yeah, that's solid. Think about the level of immersion in Underground, from being able to edit your t-shirt to your board.
Yeah, player expression. Like you could be you. Like you could be your character. They even had the face scanner too on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Like that was like a fully featured game. Like as a bit like skateboard Tony Hawk shit aside, like that was a masterpiece game. Had all the features, all the content, high notes in all the areas that you need high notes in, gameplay, story, music, presentation. Yeah, GOAT game for sure. Best Tony Hawk game.
For sure.